about commercial properties and UAE. Well, everybody talks about investing in UAE real estate market, but most often the agents, the portfolio managers will always speak to you about the residential market. But on the contrary, I would like to speak about the commercial market and how it can help you as an investor to really gain maximum returns out of the UAE real estate markets. So let's get started. So number one thing which I want to discuss with is that if you are a business owner in UAE or you are watching out UAE's commercial real estate market, you must have observed that since 2021 or 2020, the average rent prices is already increased to 100%. It means that if you are renting at let's say 65 per square feet in COVID, which is 2020 or in 2021, by now your prices must have reached around 140 150 per square feet. That is almost the double, which means since last 5 years every year there is a 20% increase in your rent. Now some people might be asking, is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed to increase your rent by landlord up to 20% if the market rate of that area is well below, and as per the rental index it is allowing the landlord to increase the rent, which is the case. So if I speak about the properties of Dhangad as well, a lot of properties have already rented has increased 100%, which means almost 20%. So this data is not just from Google or something. This is realized plus taken from land department as well. So these numbers are speaking up themselves that consistently there is an increase in the rental amount. Now this we all are seeing. Now we need to know why exactly the commercial real estate rental is going high. So the number one reason would be that if you see the grade A building offices, the occupancy rate is 96% and only 4% is vacancy rate. That means that the demand is very high for the offices, especially in grade A buildings. If I speak about Abu Dhabi market, the vacancy rate is only 2.3%. And as per the projection, because the companies coming to UAE are exceeding the number of units available for them to occupy in commercial real estate, the projection is that by 2030 the vacancy rate of commercial offices would only be 0.7%. That's by far very low compared to any other markets. That means that out of 100 offices in Dubai, 99 will be leased on 12 months occupancy. This occupancy rates are very, very good. That shows clearly that the demand of commercial properties are very high. That is the reason that our prices are continuously going up. I've put some other numbers also which shows that consistently the companies are shifting their headquarters also and pre-leasing the properties which are about to come in the market. And the supply from the developer side or existing properties in the market are far low. If I have to speak about commercial markets available in Dubai, what are the places? There can be few more also, but I have outlined the major markets where you can buy commercial properties downtown Dubai. If I have to speak about rental in downtown, the rental would be somewhere between 280 to 380 square feet depending how old is the building and the amenities available. So your rental cost as a business owner to invest to rent a office in downtown on 1500 square foot would be somewhere between 420 to half a million dirhams a year, multiplying 300 per square feet into 1500 square feet. Business bay is little less, 190 to 260 dirhams. JLT would be 160 to 210 and Sheikh Zayed 110 to 150. This gives you on the right side column, if you are renting a 1500 square feet of area, you must be spending around 200,000 to 500,000 dirhams in just rents for last 5 years, and maybe you will continue to spend for next 5 years as well. If you spend if I have to compare rent versus buying, if you spend the same money in buying your own office, what do you get out of it? Let's compare it side by side. So if I have to compare renting, annual cost, let's say would be 300,000. in the same amount of EMI you can own the same property. After 5 years, if I have to compare renting between buying, you must have spent in 5 years 1.5 million dirhams already without getting the asset. In buying, you will spend around 1.25 million, and the asset is becoming your own ownership by time. Asset gain zero, asset gain 500 to 800 gain, rent hike risk depending on renewal. It can be 5, 10, 20% as well. If you're changing the place, it can go up to 30% as well. Rent hike in your own property, of course there will be no rent hike. Golden visa, a lot of investors are looking for golden visa. So renting, of course there is no golden visa eligibility. If you buy a property more than 2 million, you're eligible for the golden visa as well. So this is a very big differentiator for all the business owners who always look for investing in residential first but not in the commercial aspect. Because if you see your own office is currently renting, the first thing is, if you want to become end user of your own property, go buy office first. Next, if I have to speak about why commercial properties, let's compare the rental yield in commercial versus residential. So gross rental yield in a commercial office on a very conservative level would be 7 to 9%. I expected to almost 10 to 12, but I have put conservative numbers. Residential at max would be 5 to 6%. Lease length, normally commercial offices can be 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 15 years as well. So your lease length is much longer possible, and corporates often go for that as well. Compare it to residential, mostly you will see annual lease. Tenant stability, it's more there in companies. I mean, a business owner would not, or a company would not like to change his offices more often, right? If the business is his reputation, his market presence, so they tend to stay much more longer, comparing it to the individual owners in the residential space. Now if I have to compare in income tax, so in a commercial office, if you are taking the property under your own name or foundation, you don't have to pay taxes. Otherwise there will be taxes, corporate tax applicable on the income which you make from that property. But if you take on individual and foundation, there will be no taxes. Now speaking about residential, of course there is no taxes in that. But again, if you take it on the company name, the same taxation apply. VAT, very important aspect. A lot of people investing in commercial properties miss this. The agents are not telling them there is a 5% VAT applicable on commercial properties. So this is very important. The net yield very clear to you, and the capital appreciation cannot be guaranteed. Of course, as per the market, it completely depends what value you entered onto. But if I have to give a rough numbers, it would be somewhere around 10 to 15% of appreciation which you can expect from the market. Now mainland versus free zone, well, you have two options, either to buy in mainland or free zone. I would not shed much light on this. You have free zones like JLT, Javza, where you can buy, and mainland is Business Bay, Tcom, all these areas where you can buy your commercial property. Now these are some of the costs which are related to buying the commercial property or a residential property. 4% DLD, 2% agency commission if you are buying secondary property, and 5% VAT. Plus you have to make sure, very importantly, what exactly are you paying the service charges. A lot of agents are not telling to the customers about the service charges, and often you are also missing the service charge. But this service charges will give you the net yield of your property, so don't miss this aspect. This remains by far the most important thing. Now if you are giving that property to be managed, if you are not the end user, you are giving that property to manage by some property managers, then you can expect 5 to 8% property management fees on your rent. This is the maximum which I am telling you. Now who should be the right buyers for the commercial properties in UAE? A tenant paying more than 150,000 of rent. I'm sure you're eligible to get mortgage, get a property, pay EMIs, better than paying rents. A yield investor who wants a better rental yield and a better capital appreciation, where the demand is much higher than the supply. So don't go for residential, choose commercial in your portfolio as well. Growing companies, so a lot of companies who are consistently growing, they can choose multiple offices, buy multiple properties, and keep growing the company. the rent hike victim, and the visa seekers as well. So this is about commercial properties in UAE. If you have any questions related to that, you can post on my Instagram channel, my LinkedIn, my YouTube, and I'm happy to discuss about this. So I am keeping this screen as the last. Look at this, see how is the demand in commercial offices versus residential, and what is the vacancy rate. This will give you an eye opener data about investing in the right property market in UAE. Thank